Okay, here we go with the last couple problems. Word problems with quadratics. So, yeah. So a guard member is practicing throwing their flag. Their flag, when thrown, models the equation, and there it is, with t being the time in seconds and h being the height in feet. When is the flag at its highest point? Now, highest point means vertex. When is a time. So I'm looking for the t value of the vertex or the x value of the vertex. That is AOS. We're going to use the axis of symmetry. So x equals negative b over 2a, or t in this case. So x and t are basically the same thing here. So t equals negative b, so that's 24, over 2a, which is negative 16. So t equals negative 24 over negative 32. So that would be 3/4 of a second. So in 3/4 of a second, the flag is at its highest point. How high did the flag get? Again, we're talking about vertex. So now we're plugging in what we just got into the equation. So negative 16, 3/4 squared, plus 24 times 3/4, plus 5. So 3/4 squared is 9 over 16. 24 times 3/4 is 18. Use your calculator to check that if you need to. Negative 16 and 16 cancel, and I'm left with negative 9. So that's negative 9 plus 18 plus 5. That's 9 plus 5. That's 14 feet is how high the flag got. Okay. Make sure you know how to read those types of problems. The words can give you clues on what you're using to find, or what formulas or what ideas you're using to find the answer to the question. Okay, so scroll down here. Assuming the guard member catches their flag at 3 feet off the ground, how long was the flag in the air? So I'm putting 3 in for h. The formula was negative 16t squared plus 24t plus 5. To solve this, I need to subtract 3, giving me a new equation of negative 16t squared plus 24t plus 2. Now I'm going to do the quadratic formula. I'm solving this, and this is a nasty a value, so I'm going to do the quadratic formula. So negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So b is 24, a is negative 16, and c is 2. All right, so let's start simplifying. That's negative 24 plus or minus the square root of 24 squared is 576. There are 2 negatives in there, so it's going to be plus 4 times 16 times 2. So let's do 4 times 16 times 2 is 128 divided by negative 32. Okay, so got x equals, again, this is t equals, but same thing. So negative 24 plus or minus the square root of, those two numbers added up is 704 divided by negative 32. It does say round to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to go ahead and type 704, square root of 704 in my calculator. If done correctly, you should get negative 24 plus or minus 26.5 all over negative 32. I'm going to go ahead and get my two solutions. Negative 24 plus 26.5 over negative 32, which is going to give me what? 2.5 over negative 32. which is going to be a negative number, which doesn't make sense. So negative 0.1, which doesn't make sense here. The next answer should make sense. Negative 24 minus 26.5 divided by negative 32. So negative 24 minus 26.5 is negative 50.5 divided by negative 32. I get 1.57, so 1.1. Again, this is a time. So the time is 1.6 seconds. Okay. The negative answer doesn't make sense because you can't have negative time. All right. So that's it for that one. Let's look at the last problem on this review. So I also decided to build my own garden, like the one in Unit 8, but I want mine to be rectangular. I plan to build my garden up against one side of the house, and I have 20 feet of fence to enclose the rest of the garden. Now, all that information is great. I put that all in an equation for you. You have this equation here. That's all you really need. A is the area, and W is the length in feet. What is the width? So I'm looking for a W that would give me the most area, most being the key word, highest vertex. So W is like X at the vertex. We're doing AOS here. Okay, so make sure we're writing this. I'm going to rewrite this one actually. So A equals negative 2W squared. A has to go first. Well, it doesn't have to go first, but we're used to seeing it first, so I'm going to write it with it first. So X equals, or W equals, negative B, so 20, over 2 times A, just negative 2. So negative 20 over negative 4 would be 5. So the width of 5 feet would give me the biggest area. Okay, so what is the biggest area? So I'm going to take that and plug it back in. Again, we're talking vertex here. So I'm going to take that and plug it back in. So negative 2 times 5 squared plus 20 times 5. 5 squared is 25 times negative 2 is negative 50. 20 times 5 is 100. Negative 50 plus 100. The biggest area would be 50 square feet. That would be the area of that garden if I made the width 5 feet. Okay. Last question. You can probably guess. I end up building my garden and it has an area of 45 square feet. What are the possible widths I could have made my garden? So I'm putting 45 in for the area. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract it from both sides to get my new equation, negative 2W squared plus 20W minus 45. And I'm solving because it's equal to 0. So I'm going to do the quadratic formula again. So W equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC divided by 2A. So that would be B is 20. A is negative 2. And C is negative 45. So I got negative 20 plus or minus the square root of 20 squared is 400. There's 3 negatives in there, so it's going to be minus 4 times 2 times 45. So that's, I believe, 360. 4 times 2 times 45 is 360. Divided by negative 4. All right, so let's get negative 20 plus or minus the square root of 40 divided by negative 4. Square root of 40, it says round to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the calculator. I don't need the 2 radical 10. It is 2 radical 10, but I don't need it here. So that's negative 20 plus or minus 6.3 divided by negative 4. I'll go ahead and make my two answers here. Negative 20 plus 6.3 divided by negative 4, and negative 20 minus 6.3 divided by negative 4. So negative 20 plus 6.3 is negative 13.7. Divided by negative 4. And you get 3.425, so 3.4. And then negative 20 minus 6.3 is negative 26.3 divided by negative 4. 6.57, so 6.6. So the two widths would be 6.6 feet or 3.4 feet. I could have two potential widths here based on that quadratic. So that concludes this video and concludes all the videos. Hopefully those helped.